Welcome everyone to the Mountain Valley Tournament Expert Division. This is opening round, hole number 1, free-to-play Kingmaker option. We're going to be setting up for a Grizzly bounce-up shot, APOC 5 plus. You can play this shot with Grizzly 6 plus. However, if you're playing with Grizzly 6 through 8, you are 3 yards shorter than my Grizzly 9. So you'll have to keep that in mind. I would recommend personally, if you have the ability to play with a power 4 ball, just to make sure that you can set up exactly the same as us and you don't end up having to change something around. Now, even if you don't have it, you should still be all right. But no matter what, you'll be able to reach it. You just may have to change the setup a little bit because you might be kind of between sniper and grizzly with 3 less yards. Anyway, pretty simple shot. The drive is P3 minus 10% max numbers, so minus 10 max. We're using 5.8 top spin, 1 right spin, and we're playing this with circle drop OP. No curl. We're setting up at the top of the plus 12. Gonna have your bullseye splitting the rough fairway line at the top of the 12. All level apocs. That's how you're gonna set up, splitting the rough fairway at the top of the 12. Then adjust P3 minus 10 max. Pull this one straight. I haven't been pulling in any OP. If you do, you may want to add a little bit, but it hasn't been an issue to me. And then circle drop OP. I've hit this one perfect and great left many a times, and always in the same area because the hill on the left pushes it back to the right. So it's always been averaging between 404 and 407. It's been a pretty consistent drive, even with great balls. It doesn't change anything on the approach, and they've all been ending up in the same area. So for the approach shot, we're going to be playing this approach P3 numbers plus 25% elevation at slider. We're using 4 backspin, 3 left spin. We're going to shoot this with a 1201 flicker, right? So to start off with, we're going to do a bullseye green fringe check, right? So where the green meets the fringe in line with the pin, that's where you do your check. It'll give you a plus yard. That plus yard is going to determine your slider value. It's already been counted out and figured up, so you don't have to mess with it, right? Once you got your plus yards, set up your spin. Now this is the key to this shot right here, and it's all in how you set up your ball guide after you have spins added. So like so should be right. So what I'm looking for is I'm going to add my spin. I'm going to have the top or the right side of my third bounce on this right side of this third dark column. That's right of the hole. You can count it however you want. It's 6 lines, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can count it dark row, dark row, dark row, right? Easier to do in my opinion, but whatever floats your boat. So have the right side of your third bounce on that line, and at the same time you want the ball guide splitting this intersection here, which is 4 lines up, or the top of the second row, dark row, right? And then 1 line below the hole. So this intersection right here. So top of your third bounce touching that line with the ball guide splitting that intersection there. Right? Real easy setup. It's not hard at all. We're splitting that corner and we're touching this line. Okay? Pretty easy to set up. You can use it's all dark row related, so you don't have to count 4 lines, you don't have to count 6 lines, pretty easy setup. But this is very important as how you set this up, because it puts the ball guide in the correct position to utilize the sticky spot. And it's also actually, if you was to turn your screen and look up toward the ball guide from the other side of the flag, you would see that it's actually a little bit further ahead of the hole. But that's because we're over adjusting due to the tailwind, and we're getting in the sticky spot. This sticky spot is good for the wind angles. It's a good left to right, and it's a small up and down. So this should be a pretty consistent shot. Practice it a few times. You should be either getting the drop or very close to it, which it shouldn't take you much to turn around and make some minor adjustments for your play style to get this to drop. But very nice little sticky spot here. That's why I'm playing it over to the right. It's great for this wind angle, and it ought to prevent us from having to do too much as far as wind angle tweaks go. This is a base shot. Make sure you're pulling that with a slight 1201 flicker for your approach here. If you're playing it with a Grizzly 6 through 8, you're gonna minus 3+ yards from the chart and use Grizzly 9 numbers in your app. So if you go and do your bullseye check and you're at the +4, you're going to use the +1 values in this chart here. So the plus yard to slider values are as follows. 0 is 67, 1 is 69, 2 is 70, 3 is 72, +4 is 73, 5 is 75, +6 is 77, 7 is 78, +8 is 80. All right, that's your slider values. Remember, 6, 7, and 8. Grizzly 6, 7, and 8. Minus 3 from that, and use that number. So you see a +4 when you do your check, you're gonna play the +3 numbers. Make sure it's Grizzly 9 in your app. That's to make up for the 3 yards your club is shorter. And you do that even if you're using a P4 ball. P3 +25 on the approach. Good luck, everyone. Hope you get the drop. See you on the next one.